Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Obsessive Compulsive Gaming. I am the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, and this is my review for Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. So dear viewers, Metal Gear Solid 2 originally released in 2001. A year I remember fondly as the year I first played such fantastic video games as Final Fantasy X, Devil May Cry, and Shrek Fairy Tale Freakdown. Well, maybe not that last one, but we are not here to talk about those video games. No, we are here to discuss Metal Gear Solid 2, and just like that beautiful bearded bastard Barry Bertrum, you're probably wondering,
what is this? What is it? What is this?
Metal Gear Solid 2 is, unsurprisingly, the sequel to 1998's Metal Gear Solid. And we once again play as Solid Snake. Well, for a little while at least. An hour or so. And let me just tell you, nothing beats the first time that you experience this video game and discover, for better and for worse, that you're not in fact going to be playing as Solid Snake for the duration of the title, but rather you're going to be playing as Raiden. I have a lot of fond memories of this particular video game, but do they hold up? Well, let's find out by reviewing this video game the only way I know how. Badly. And let's start with what I like about Metal Gear Solid 2. Like its predecessor, and kind of sort of the two games before that, the story for this game is completely and utterly bananas. So bananas, in fact, that I think I heard a rumor once that this is in fact Donkey Kong's favorite video game. Of course, we got Solid Snake, we got Otacon, we got Raiden and his bloody love story with Rosemary. We've got a villain who's had the previous game's antagonist's arm grafted onto his own. And occasionally he gets possessed by the previous game's villain and even speaks in his ridiculously hammy English accent. We've got Metal Gears. We've got a president who grabs Raiden between the legs for reasons. We've even got a bloody vampire. Completely and utterly crazy, and I'm absolutely here for it. I'd expect nothing less from the creative genius that is Hideo Kojima. The game also looks substantially better than its predecessor. Of course, that's to be expected, this being an early PlayStation 2 game, whereas the original game was of course a PlayStation 1 title. The voice acting is as superb as it ever was. And trust me, you're going to be hearing a lot of that voice acting in this game. We'll touch more on that in a moment. The stealth gameplay is fabulous, the combat is passable, I suppose. But of course, if you're playing this game as intended, you won't be getting into a lot of combat, except for when you're taking on those ridiculous boss fights. The vampire that I mentioned, the Metal Gears, the main antagonist who you have a sword fight with at the very end of the game. In terms of crazy characters, crazy story, gameplay, voice acting, this game is completely top-notch. But it's not all sunshine, rainbows, and assholes here. And that leads me very nicely into talking about what I don't like so much about Metal Gear Solid 2. And my main complaint with this game, which is probably a complaint that a lot of people have about some of Hideo Kojima's games, is there's just so much talking. There's conversations that go on for 30 plus minutes, and no, I'm not kidding when I say that. And most of the time, this isn't even interesting conversations that are moving the plot forward. No, it's just, oh, when you were younger, you were this, and do you know what a nuclear bomb is? And do you know what a bloody hydrogen bomb is? You don't? Okay, I'll spend the next 15 minutes telling you exactly what it is then. It's just not very exciting. And wow, when I first played this game all the way back in 2001, I didn't mind it too much. I have found myself, the more that I have replayed this game, the more that I want to skip certain conversations. And sadly, that big plot twist that Solid Snake isn't the main character of this game, well, once you've experienced that the first time, maybe the second time, the third time, it just loses its impact and just doesn't affect me at all now. Then, of course, there's the big meta plot twist towards the end of the game where it's revealed that certain characters you've been talking to for the duration of the game are nothing more than AI constructs or some other nonsense. And that's also lost its impact the more I replayed this game. In fact, now, when you're right at the end of the game, you've got absolutely no clothes on, and you're being constantly interrupted on the codec by these AI constructs, it's just an absolute nuisance. So sadly, on this last playthrough of Metal Gear Solid 2, I actually found myself being quite, well, bored for several hours of it. Now, your average playthrough of this game will be anywhere between 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9 hours. But I actually think the game could do with shaving off some of that extra fluff. And when I say extra fluff, I mean all of the stupid conversations that you're forced to sit and listen to. But apart from that, this is still a very good Metal Gear game. It's definitely not my favorite, but I have absolutely no hesitation in saying if you enjoy the rest of the series and somehow you've not played this game, well, now's the perfect time to do so. Therefore, I declare that Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty isn't as good as I remember it being. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my review for Metal Gear Solid 2. If you enjoyed this little review of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, well then feel free to give me a thumbs down. But please remember the single most important thing I always tell you, dear viewer, and that is to always stay obsessed with gaming. Are you still here? Oh, you must have really enjoyed this video then. In that case, you had better subscribe to the channel and check out our other content. Otherwise, you're a booby pants. And no one wants to be a booby pants.